Oh, there you are, YouTube. Do. Subscribe if you're interested, but also no pressure. Hey, today I'm going to be talking about something that's a little off topic for me lately, but not long ago. I just feel like I haven't covered television in a long time. Maybe I have, but it's not ringing a bell, and something's a little bit different here. So I'm talking about the show Hacks. I used to, I believe, do reviews of every single episode when it came to season 1 and season 2. But season 3 has just been a busy time, so I just been watching it. And then today was the season finale of the show. And man, it was fantastic. Like, the whole season was good. The whole season was great, actually. The whole season was wonderful, fantastic, great. Like, we've seen these characters come so far. And then it ends with this finale that was just like, I had goosebumps. I was like, do I like this? Do I not like this? I mean, like, I liked, it was dramatic television. It was great, dramatic, amazing television. But like, where these characters go, it was just kind of like, I don't know how I feel about this. But it all made sense. Everywhere we ended up, it made complete sense. So it wasn't like this was an unearned like twist or anything like that happened at the end. So basically, Jean Smart, we all love her from Homeward Bound. We all love her from Homeward Bound. But anyway, she is sort of this whole season's kind of about her trying to get late night talk show, right? You know, like the Tonight Show, the Late Show, you know, all those things. Basically, the Tonight Show. She's trying to get the Tonight Show, the Late Show, and because this was something that she had a chance at having, and she had like a pilot episode that did really well, but there were other issues that caused her to not get the show, so she wasn't given it. And this was like back in the day, back in, you know, like 70s or something, and it didn't happen for her. And then we have Hannah Einbinder, who's Ava in the show. Man, this season, like, the performance she gave, especially in this last episode, was just, I feel like some of the best I've seen on television, actually. Like, the two of them, with what happens at the end, which I haven't talked about yet, I'm just sort of speaking about it in a vague way, was just like, I was so emotionally hit by what I was watching that I, like, my body was trying to cry, like, because what I was seeing, like, I'll cry with super like sweet stuff, um that will get me, but this was like confrontation that was so I mean, just watching these two characters go through everything that they've gone through together, and then to have this like sort of confrontation at the end of this episode, like, it was like making my body, like, what's the word? Is that a convulse or something? Like almost gag or something, like dry heave into wanting to cry. It didn't happen, but it, because I don't think I cried during these types of things normally, but my body was trying to. Like, I was like doing something like that. I wasn't trying to stop myself or anything. Maybe I was, just so I could stay in the moment because I didn't want to miss anything. But they're like sort of, there was that moment, and then a moment that follows. I know I'm skipping to the end. I'm skipping to the end, and then we get this like sort of twist because we see Gene Smart totally like disrespect and do a very cruel, mean thing to Ava, and it's just like so awful and sad. And Ava's talking, you know, back, and like sort of saying, this is what you've done to me. This is what you've done to me, and what you've done is not fair. And I thought we were sort of, you know, friends and everything. The reason you are a success is because of our friendship and everything. Oh, I realize I'm just like jumping into this. I'm sorry. Um, like, I haven't given you any context about anything, but I'm just so wowed by this episode. So we have that moment, right? And that's sort of when I was crying, almost crying, convulsing, like about ready to throw up or something. And then, so basically, Jean Smart, she's like, I can't make you, because she gets the talk show. I didn't even mention that yet. She gets the talk show, and the path to it was so good. Jimmy and Kayla, like, they're so funny, like the agents, for her. They had this amazing, funny moment on the plane. I'm doing a terrible job of telling you about this. I am hopping around everywhere, so it's only the people, I guess, who have seen this episode are understanding, like, what I'm talking about. But so yeah, she gets the show. She gets the show. We learned that in the previous episode, and she says, Hannah Einbinder, Ava, you're gonna be my head writer on the show. You and I, like like uh like Forrest Gump and Jenny, peas and carrots, right? So she's like, yeah, I'll do it. She gives up her other job where she is also offered head writer, and she's like, I will be Deborah Vance's, Jean Smart's head writer for the talk show. And then basically Deborah's like, oh, sorry, they wouldn't let me do it. They wouldn't let me hire you. And then Ava sees Helen Hunt from Mad About You and Twister just hanging out on the side of the road, and is like, hey, maybe could I maybe be the head writer? Would that be okay? I mean, she and I, we go together like peas and carrots. It's great. And then she's like, oh yeah, I think that would be great. You should let Deborah know. Maybe you could be her head writer. And then she's like, what? So Deborah did not fight for her to be head writer at all. And then that's when that confrontation happens, because she runs to Deborah and she's like, you lied to me, blah, 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 blah. I thought we meant this. I thought we meant this. You're going to have this writer who's been there for 20 years, and the reason they picked you was to create a risk. And, you can't have like the same old stuff. And plus, this guy doesn't know you. You and I, we know each other. I can write the jokes. You can perform the jokes. We go together. And like that, like the way that was all handled was so good. And again, Jean Smart, Hannah Einbinder, they are just, I mean, it was just riveting, amazing television. The acting was like, wow, this is great. Like Jean can do it because we've seen her all our lives, and Hannah Einbinder, like, I really only know from this show, and that's about it. Um, maybe on Colbert one time, which was a really great set, but the acting that I was seeing was just like top notch, first rate stuff. Okay, and then so that happens, and then Deborah's like, I'm willing to give you up because I have to make sure the show is solid. I got to make sure it's bulletproof, which is what the episode is called. And that really hurts Ava. It really does. And then Ava goes talks to Jimmy, the manager, and Jimmy's like, hey, I think you should still write for her. Sure, you won't be number one, but you'll be number two. And Deborah offered that, you can be my number two. And she's like, I don't know. I don't think I can do that. And then he's like, well, I'm telling you this because I know you would do the right thing, blah, 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 blah. And then we cut to like the next day, couple days, week, I don't know what it is. And Deborah's walking into the office, the first big meeting for the show that she is about to host, The Late Show. And she walks in the door, and who is there? It is Ava, Hannah Einbinder. Ava, she is there. And then Jean Smart is like, I keep bouncing back with the name, sorry. She's like, I'm so glad you're here. I knew you would make the right choice. And then she's like, oh, well, I knew I had to be here for you, blah, 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 blah. Also, and I haven't mentioned this part yet, she goes, plus, I also realized that not only should we be writing together, but I also realized that the American public, I can't remember how she put it. I'm butchering this, but basically, she blackmails her. She says, I know that you slept with the head of the network right before you got this job. Wouldn't it be a shame if America, the world, found out about this? So I guess I am your new head writer. And it's like, oh, and basically, she Jean has to take her on as head writer. It was a blackmail moment. She's like, well, like, I guess you're my new head writer, and it was performed so well. I'm doing a terrible job of all of this. I'm just talking about it. It's like this is a diary of me talking about this episode, this season of the show, and so yeah, Ava is the head writer of the show. But here's the thing. Ava made a great point in saying we work so well together because of our friendship, because of our relationship, who we are, the way we can speak to one another without fear and stuff like that. So it's like, yeah, you may be head writer, but what you had no longer exists because now, like, there's this weird power dynamic. They aren't going to be comfortable with one another, right? Because they're going to be at odds. I know they're both going to want to make the show as great as possible, but their warmth and love for one another is no longer there. So that's going to make an interesting season 4. And guess what? It was renewed like 8 hours ago, like right after this episode premiered. It was renewed. It was an amazing episode. It was so good. It was a great season. I can't believe that, it's just getting better and better. I love stand-up comedy shows. And this one, I mean, this is so good. I can't wait to see where season 4 goes. But man, oh man, it was good. I am just so impressed with the acting I saw on screen from everybody. Also, the Jimmy and Kayla scene, I haven't really talked about it much. In the airport had me cracking up all over the place. I was just laughing and laughing and laughing. It was so good. Marcus, oh man, Marcus I mean, it looks like he's gonna leave. Did I even mention Marcus? I probably have in the old videos about the show, but Marcus is kind of like her other manager. What would you call that? Like, takes care of, what is his position? I can't think of the term. Takes care of all of her engagements, basically. Makes her life function pretty much. And he it looks like he might take a new job too, so things are just gonna go wild next season. And man, this was so good. I didn't do justice at all for talking about it. But I can't recommend the show enough. So again, 3 seasons have been completed. So check them out. If you sat through everything I just said, sorry for the spoilers if you haven't watched it. If you have watched it, wasn't it great? Wasn't it great? I mean, I thought it was a wonderful episode. One of the best they've ever put out. But really, I haven't been disappointed with any of them. But this one, just like, from an acting standpoint, Einbinder and Smart was just like, whoa. Like, I can't wait to see it. No, I don't even want to jinx it, so I'm not going to say. But I just thought it was great. So, did you watch it? Do you watch the show? Where are you at? Did you catch this episode? I thought it was wonderful. Thank you so much for watching. I can't wait for season 4. I'm so glad it's gotten renewed. It's a great TV show. I don't watch much TV anymore, but this one I'm keeping up with. Of course, we're gonna have to wait a while for season 4, but I'm just so glad it's happening. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and perhaps we'll see you tomorrow for more Pure Hangout.